This is the last compact professional camcorder that Sony has made, and it is my most favorite camcorder that I have ever used. It has really great autofocus, a nice 12x zoom, a lot of picture profile customization, the option for large batteries for long battery life, built-in ND filters, infrared night shot functionality, XLR port for really high quality audio, and the option to shoot in 1000 FPS slow motion. And all of that in a small compact body that you can carry around everywhere. And if you want it even smaller, you can remove the top handle and the front lens hood. And while it might not have the XLR audio inputs now, it is a very compact device while still delivering great image quality. It is called the Sony HXR NX80. But this is the last model that Sony has made, and it was released all the way back in 2017. So how good is this camera today? Well, first let's start with the build quality, because it actually feels really nice. It is pretty compact, and what I like here is on the side you have a lot of manual controls. It is the best manual control for a camcorder in my opinion. You can quickly press the buttons and then adjust it, and you can change between fully automatic, aperture priority, shutter priority or fully manual mode while you are recording. And you can also go into the menu systems while you are recording, so you have a lot of flexibility with this camera. But one thing that I dislike about the NX80 is the grip here on the side. Most camcorders have a nice grip here on the side that you can hold for hours, and that is great. But sadly on this model the grip is moved all the way to the right, so it gets very heavy after a while. And that is disappointing, because almost all other camcorders that I have used, including something like the AX100, which has a very similar design to this camera, has a good grip. But this one just doesn't feel that great to record for hours at a time. And this camera is very similar to the AX700, but now it also has the top handle. So when you attach the top handle, the camera will obviously become a lot bigger, but the top handle is also a nice point to hold the camera. So this is a lot more comfortable to hold than this here on the side. And now you get the full XLR control. So you have manual audio controls and two phantom power XLR ports on the side. I prefer to use this single shotgun microphone from Sony. It's the ECM XM1, and it delivers really good sound quality if you want to record what's in front of you. And if you want to hear everything around you, you can use the internal omnidirectional microphone, which also has good sound quality. And you had two different models of this one. You had the NX80 and the Z90. They are basically the same camcorder, but the Z90 had more wireless functions and a 10-bit MXF codec. It has multiple buttons here on the left side, but also on the right side. And what is nice is that they are customizable. So if you want to set certain buttons to certain functions, it is really nice. So you can adjust how you want to use the camera. The focus magnifier, I have changed that to the auto exposure value, so I can overexpose or underexpose a bit when I'm shooting in automatic mode. And I've set the S&Q button to a white balance set, so I can just easily press the button and I get the right white balance. The camera has built-in ND filters, which means that you are able to get a nice motion blur and a bit of a blurry background in very bright situations. And this is something that I really miss on almost all cameras these days. So now you need to put on a screw-on filter, but then if it gets dark you need to screw the filter off of the camera again. The lens is a Zeiss lens with a 12x optical zoom. On the widest setting it isn't very wide, so that is a bit disappointing. It is 29mm, so that means you won't be able to get a very wide angle shot and capture everything in the frame. But it does have a 12x zoom, which means that you can zoom in really far. It can go up to 348mm, but then the lens sadly goes down to f4, so you won't be able to get a lot of background blur with a 1-inch sensor and f4, but the zoom range is great, and the quality of the lens is also really good. So while it might not have the best aperture, you will be able to get a quiet zoom, so you won't hear the zoom noise in the recordings. You will also be able to get some really nice macro shots. The lens has a very close minimum focus distance, which means that it is great for macro shots, especially when you're zooming below 65% zoom levels. It also just looks like a very sharp and nice lens. I don't see a lot of chromatic aberration or other issues, and when you're also shooting in 4K you can see that it can capture a lot of detail. Right now I'm shooting on the Sony HXR NX80. I am using the XLR shotgun microphone, so as you can hear, the audio probably sounds really nice. I'm shooting in a custom picture profile. It is Cine 4 with the saturation a bit higher, and I am shooting with ND filter on 1 in full HD. So now you should get a little bit of a background blur while still having the motion blur. So how does the video look like? This is a quick video and microphone test. And the camera is pretty heavy, so it's not the greatest for vlogging for a while. And the stabilization is on active mode, so it should look a lot more smooth. But sadly, this camera doesn't support 4K at 60 FPS, so it's only 30 FPS or 25 FPS if you're in the PAL region, which means you won't be able to get a really nice slow motion while you are recording in 4K. In 1080p it can go up to 120 FPS, but the 120 FPS image looks a bit worse compared to the 60 FPS in 1080p. But you can also shoot in burst modes, and then you can go into 250, 500 or even 1000 frames per second. But the quality definitely starts to get a lot worse when you're shooting at 500 or 1000 FPS. But still, it is very impressive for a camera like this to be able to shoot in these kinds of frame rates. And here on the front of the lens you have the option to switch between zoom or focus. Also, unlike the AX700, it sadly doesn't have a photo mode. And because it is a 1-inch sensor, it isn't great in low light and it doesn't have great dynamic range. And even though it has the HLG or S-Log picture profile, in S-Log it's just almost unusable. Just don't use this camera in S-Log 3. Unless you're shooting in a very bright day and you know what you're doing and you're great with noise reduction. But normally I wouldn't shoot on S-Log 3 on a small sensor like this. So right now I am shooting using S-Log 3. So to make sure it won't get too much noise, I'm exposing right now at plus 1.7. So then I can bring it back in post a little bit, so there won't be too much noise. Another downside to a smaller sensor is that you won't be able to get a very blurry background. So if you want to get a lot of background blur, then you won't be able to get that with this camera. You will still be able to get some background blur because the sensor is a lot larger compared to a regular consumer camcorder. But you're not able to get a really wide shot and still have a blurry background. But in my opinion, I would rather have a lens that has really high image quality, a large amount of zoom, and a great minimum focus distance, instead of a lens that can create a blurry background but can't zoom in that much. So even though this lens might not be perfect for getting a blurry background, it does have a lot of other advantages. So because the sensor isn't extremely large, you are able to get ND filters in here, you're able to get a massive amount of zoom in here. When we take a look at the low light, well, that's definitely one of the areas I wish it was so much better in, because it's just okay. It's about the same, if not a little bit better quality as your smartphone, but I just wish it was much better in low light. Also, one tip: if you want better low light performance, then switch to HD instead of 4K, because that already makes a bit of a difference. The menu system is the professional camcorder menu system from Sony, so it's different compared to the Sony Alpha menu system. But I really like it because I can still preview the image while I am in the menu system. And when you're using it for the first time, it can be very difficult, but then once you're used to it, it is very nice. And then you also have the customizable buttons here on the side, so using the camera feels great after using it for a while. So right now I'm using the XLR microphone. It is called the Sony ECM XM1, and when I move to the side you can hear that you hear me a lot less. But now let's switch to the internal microphone to see how that sounds. Now I'm using the internal microphone of the camera. So it is on top of the camera, and now when I move to the back you should still hear me because it is an omnidirectional microphone. And now there is a lot of wind, so it probably sounds a bit worse. The autofocus is also really fast, it's reliable. You also have autofocus options in the menu settings if you want to change that. And for people that like viewfinders, it also has this viewfinder. So if there's a lot of sun, you can still use this to preview your image, and the quality is also really good of the viewfinder. So in conclusion, the HXR NX80 is obviously not the newest camera. It might not have the largest sensor, 4K at higher frame rates, or 10-bit colors, but the image quality that it can capture still looks really nice to this day. It has great autofocus, a large zoom, a really long battery life, and great audio options while having a nice top handle, which makes this for me my favorite camera to use. Also, the ND filters are amazing to have. I wish more cameras had it. So what do you think of the HXR NX80? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching.